Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Evan Wessling, and this is going to be my 2023 baseball broadcasting full summer reel. But before we go ahead and get into it, you guys, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Johnston High School and Johnston Baseball for allowing me to go ahead and get in the booth this summer and broadcast for the baseball team. It was just an incredible 2 months. I had such a fun time, learned so much, got a lot of experience, and definitely got better at broadcasting. But yeah, so this entire video is going to be jam-packed. There's a lot of things. I'm going to have highlights. I'm going to have kind of a segment on like how I prepare for games, on my preparation and stuff. There's going to be a full inning along with some interviews, some player interviews, coach interviews, and then a pregame show and a postgame show. And I'm actually going to go ahead and quickly put on screen just the timestamps for each of those individual sections. You're more than welcome to jump around and watch and listen to whatever parts you like. But the first thing we're going to go ahead and start off with is our highlights, the highlight section. The first thing you're going to be able to see is kind of not necessarily a big highlight call, but it kind of highlights me kind of, I guess, knowing some like inside information, or I guess doing my research in a sense. So we'll start with that, and then after that you'll be jumped into some of my favorite kind of big moments or highlights throughout the season. So with that, enjoy everyone.
So I just caught the eye. Caden Wilson dropped his hat down on the turf, which means he's dropping his yard card. Each guy in the dugout gets 1 yard. You get a call 1 bomb a game. So Caden Wilson placing his bet early on Will Nuss here in the top of the first. So if one goes over the fence, we give all credit to Caden Wilson out in the dugout.
And what prize does he win?
It's bragging rights.
It's bragging rights.
Yeah.
Okay. Then maybe you'd get like a free slice of pizza or something. That would make it. So it's the yard card, it's called. This one misses outside. So to be clear, all the Dragons stand along the fence in the dugout, stand up and pay attention to the at-bat. If a player drops his hat during a given at-bat, that's their prediction that a home run is going to be.
Yes, and you only get 1 a game. Now, if someone would reach on like, oh boy.
Nuss hits this one deep to left. If it's fair, it's gone. And Caden Wilson gets the call.
And he's actually jumping up and down.
And I think he jumped the fence and went out there. He called that one. I'm not sure who's more excited. I think Caden Wilson more excited on that one than Will Nuss is. Certainly got some jumps in. So Will Nuss hits the bomb that we have to admit Caden Wilson called first.
Again, winner of this game wins the season series. Teams have split. Tyne will send that one out deep. And that one is gone! See ya ball. Tyne Whedon has taken the lead. Number 2 on the year for number 27, but not a bigger spot for Tyne Whedon. That one is crushed. But is now full count. Wilson trying to make sure the Jaguars get none here in the 6th. Pitch on its way. Swung on and missed! Strikeout from Caden Wilson, and the Jags strand 2 once again. Caden Wilson, have a day, sir. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, still 2-0. Oki is checking on Hess a couple times. He did that a lot with Lundholm, and now doing the same with Hesselman, and kind of makes sense as Hess has gotten 17 stolen bases on the year, and that one will be roped down the third base line out of Will Nuss. Hess on his way over to third. O'Brien will wave him home. Hess on his way, looking to go from first to home. He slides in. It is an RBI double from Will Nuss. So if there's any question who the MVP of today's doubleheader is,
we've got that squared away. Hey, here we go, Mango.
Mango gets that one, and diving for that was center fielder Schoonover. That one gets past him, so Mango's going to find his way running to third. They're going to send Mango. Mango's got the speed. He is going to attempt for the inside the park home run. Sliding down. He got it! Inside the park home run. And you see the speed on full display. Mango Hennis. And I believe that actually results in was that a walk-off? That's a walk-off inside the park home run for Mango Hennis. 2 outs, bases juice. Dragons lead it 5-2. 1 strike away from closing things out against the Waukee Northwest Wolves. Hess winds it up, sends it home, and a swing and a miss! Van Horn will strike out. Ball game over. Sam Hesselman closes it down for the Dragons. Got a little fishy there in the top of the 7th, but the Dragons come away with a 5-2 victory.
I mean,
Pierce doesn't have to make contact. If it's a walk-off,
we'll take that
pitch,
too, yeah.
And he does make contact. Hess will go. The throw to home. Not there. Safe.
He's in there.
The Dragons walk it off. Sam
win.
Hesselman will slide in for the win. It's an infield RBI walk-off for Pierce Anderson, and the Dragons get the doubleheader sweep over the top-ranked Dowling Catholic Maroons. Sam Hesselman yesterday, probably the best all-around performance. You saw the big hit out of Will Nuss, the 2-run home run, but Hess on the day went 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. So the most consistent player offensively for the Dragons. That one will get through. Coach O'Brien waving in Carter Bryan to home plate. It's going to be a close one, and Bryan gets down and called safe. It'll be an RBI double for Sam Hesselman. And he'll get him. Sam Hesselman, back-to-back Ks, and with the bases loaded, no other guy can close it down like Sam Hesselman gets out of the jam. Black Raiders unable to score any. We stay put at 5-3. Thank you, Sam Hesselman. Again, not many times does game number 2 of baseball get started before softball, as it was a very quick game number 1, very high tempo type of pitching, and that one will be sent deep and gone. Adam Keiko, number 2 on the year for the junior. It is a 2-run shot for Adam Keiko, and just like that, it is 2-0 Johnston Dragons. If you see something you like, you take it if you're Sam Hesselman. If not, as we mentioned, it's got to be in that shoebox if you're Hess. If not, you let it go, and you hope to find your way on. 3-1's your count. And Sam Hesselman will swing on that one, and it will drop into center field, and Keiko will go on home. It is going to be close. He gets past Severson, and Hess, nobody's going, and he's going to go to third. No, he stops. But nonetheless, there is a guy on second. Dragons trail by 1. Again, this is Johnston's second game that has reached extra innings. In the first one, they lost here against Pleasant Valley, but they're looking to change that tonight. A laser across the diamond from Pierce. One hop, and he got him. What a throw from Pierce Anderson, an absolute laser. Now bases are juiced for Carson Egan. He is 0 for 2 today, walked in the first, but has not reached via a hit. Egan, a 300 hitter, has 21 hits, 15 RBIs. He has 2 in scoring position.
Here we go.
That one on the ground to Lundholm. He'll scoop it over to Keiko at second, and will bounce off. Scooped up by Sam Kemmer for the double play. Nice job. It's a 6-4-3, and the Dragons make sure it stays at 0 in the top of the 6th for Ankeny. And Kemmer will get a base hit, and that one will go through. Coach O'Brien will wave home Carter Bryan. And that one will be in for a run. It is a 2 RBI single out of Sam Cameron. Just like that, we are knotted up at 3 apiece.
You're expecting something off speed, maybe something in the dirt. You can take a base, maybe.
And Mo will send that one out in the outfield. Right fielder Byrne trying to get it, but it will go over his head. Mo will look to go to 2. O'Brien will wave home Kemmer. Mo going for 3. It is a 2 RBI triple for Gage Mollendor, and just like that, it's 5-3 Dragons. They have bounced back immediately. And that was the big hit for sure, and he will do it again. That one will get past the glove of Sonnenberg. It will roll all the way down to the back end of left field. It will be a 2 RBI double for Sam Kemmer, and what a day for the sophomore. This would be the 8th straight state tournament appearance for the Dragons, if they can close it down here. Pitch on its way. Swung on and missed. That will do it. The Dragons have punched their ticket to state for their 8th straight time. Johnston wins it 12-4. We will see you in Iowa City. Ticket punched.
Welcome in, everybody, to the preparation segment of the video. May not be everybody's favorite thing to watch, but certainly for me, it's very helpful. Obviously, during the game, you can see some of the work I put in beforehand. That's really the game board. These 2 items over here, my score sheet, or my scorecard, along just kind of with my field view or field chart, whatever you want to call it. That's kind of the work that goes that I do during the game. But I want to go ahead and start off with a game board. So let me kind of make more room for this. This is the big one for sure. It takes probably a couple hours to do beforehand, get all the stats off of Varsity Bound. But it's super helpful during games, especially with baseball when you need some time to fill. Starting off, you can see, just team logo along with team name. Obviously, Johnston ranked 3rd, so number 3. along with their overall record. Now, quickly before we kind of dive into both, as you can see, this is the pitching chart, the hitting chart, and then if we flip it over, you've got the hitting chart and the pitching chart for the away team, which this was the sub-state final versus Valley, so that was the opponent for this game board. But if we kind of go over and dive into specifics, so this, for example, is our hitting game board. Anyone whose kind of main color is purple are the guys that you're most likely to see or have played the most of anybody throughout the year. Those who are in gold are ones that do play more than kind of the ones who maybe have just a couple at-bats or plate appearances, but you will have a shot at seeing them either as pinch runners, as you can see those two, and this one over here, Will Holm, definitely a guy that was in the infield a lot and did get a couple at-bats. But those in purple, the guys that we're used to seeing. So each column, so starting off, you can see a number along with their full name and class. Now, the big thing for me was putting the last name in bold and the bigger font, just because it's most important to have their last name, obviously, but as you guys can get kind of a closer look of what each player's chart looks like. And then if we slide it over, it has individual statistics for each person. I went ahead and just kind of handpicked the most important statistics in my eyes. You guys can kind of see those. And then along here, just kind of, I'll jump back here in just a sec, but you have the team stats, the CIML standings, which is the conference Johnston is in, along with their full schedule, all of their wins, losses, all of that. Obviously, Valley doesn't have one because that was for this game. But anything that was highlighted in gold signified a ranked win in Class 4A. Johnston did lead that category, and, having this certainly helped me when I kind of wanted to throw in that little nugget, especially when they were facing up against ranked teams. And then real quickly as well, you see this little box underneath the statistics. It's kind of just for any additional notes I wanted to put down. So anybody who's committed to a college, I went ahead and wrote that down. So as you can see, Adam Keiko committed to Nebraska. And then over here, CIML, this means kind of how he's doing in a certain category. So at this point, Adam Keiko was first in RBIs in the CIML conference, along with tied for fourth in doubles. If we slide over to our pitching charts, I want to do an example. We look at like Carter Williams, for example. You can see Class 4A that signified he was, the leader in WHIP in the Class 4A in that category. So obviously he would also be, the first in the CIML. But if you were in kind of a 4A or state ranking, then I took you out of that. I don't know if, at one point I think I had Hesselman in for like top in like state in saves. Will Nuss was top in the state in home runs. But nonetheless, that's kind of what it looks like. It's the exact same thing for the visiting team, just along with kind of their individual statistics. So that's the game board. That's the big one. I want to quickly flip over to my field chart. So this is pretty simple. Again, just each team. Johnston is ranked number 3 with their overall record. Centennial ranked number 1 with their overall record. Johnston didn't have there wasn't a lot of defensive changes actually in this game. Some of them, it can kind of get wild with the amount of X's I have to cross out. But as you can see, just their position on the field, I go ahead and do it in the team's primary color just so it can help pop the eye. You see some nicknames like Lundy or Hess. That's just kind of, being in Johnston's program for as long as I was, I do know some of the nicknames. But if you kind of get a look at a visiting team, it's all of their, full last names, their numbers. Unfortunately, I didn't have a silver marker, so that would have probably helped more than just black. But nonetheless, you kind of get the idea. I want the main color to help catch the eye. And then lastly, just my scorecard during the game. Pretty simple. All of this, I drew this up myself. Nothing too crazy. Everything else was made on Google Sheets. This was all done on Google Sheets. This was done as well. As you can see, just the batting order, and then the bottom column runs, hits, errors, left on base in the inning for the team, along with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 each inning. Just kind of signifies, an out. If they got a base hit, I did a, what kind of hit they got, or if they reached on base. I did a slash to signify where they would eventually end up at. So for, obviously, Carter Bryant came around to score. I also went ahead and wrote down RBIs above that column if players got stolen bases as well or reached on errors. So pretty simplistic thing. And then kind of you can see here at the end of the game, I guess picking my players of the game in a sense, writing down the big overall stats. So I guess looking at Keiko here against, I think this was Centennial, 3 for 4, home run, 2 singles, 4 RBIs, big night out of him. And then you can kind of see the final chart. So 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors, 2 left on, or that would be 0 errors committed by Ankeny Centennial. Flip it over, again, same thing, just a pretty easy scorecard, but it's just kind of how I keep score, and that's pretty much everything. I'm going to go ahead and quickly throw on screen some graphics I made. You're going to see right now just the kind of comparison graphics. I only made those for Valley. I'm hoping to do more of those in the future, along with some standings I also made on Google Sheets for Class 4A rankings in the CIML standings. But yeah, you guys, that's everything for the preparation segment, and now we will head on over to the full inning.
Welcome back, everybody, to Dragon Baseball. About to kick off the 4th inning. Johnston does have themselves a lead now. 1-0 your score. Big RBI single with 2 down by Carter Bryan scored Blake Lundholm. And now Caden Wilson, the defense, will try to keep the Centennial offense at bay. So far, it's been a great night out of Caden Wilson to this point, as he has 3 strikeouts. And Joey Oki and Lucas Brule, the only 2 batters to reach on base. Oki was hit, and Brule was walked. So lead off the 4th will be Damon Churchman, your first baseman. His first appearance, he flew one out to Carter Bryan in center field. Churchman, another one of these great weapons at the top of the order for these Jaguars, batting .398. First pitch to him will be ball number 1. And a big hack out of Churchman for strike number 1. Misses it all there. Again, Wilson, opponents only batting .130 against him, which is 5th in the CIML. Kind of had a late start due to being a part of the track and field team that did bring home a state championship, but once he kind of got in the groove of baseball, he has been rolling, has been one of the best pitchers on the year for Johnston, and a swing and a miss out of Churchman. It'll be a strikeout for out number 1.
Wilson with the strikeout.
Make that now 4 strikeouts out of Caden Wilson. Wilson has struck out 33 coming into the contest, and now he's up to 37 on the year with 4 today. Sean Stewart now up to bat for Centennial. Last time grounded out to Keiko at second. Stewart bats .291, has had 16 hits on his 55 plate appearances. Fouls off another one, so 0-2 your count. Wilson way ahead here in this. And we'll look to get out number 2. .02 pitch on its way from Wilson, and that one very close, but just a little high for a ball, so 1-2 your count. Trying to get a look at your softball score. It looks like Ankeny Centennial's up 2-0. The Ankeny Centennial Jaguars and Johnston Dragons have a doubleheader as well on the softball field. So good luck to the Lady Drags over there. 2-2 now your count. And that one swung on, it'll be fouled off, and it will just roll foul. So Stewart will have to come back to the plate. Still 2-2 your count. Nice job out of Nuss, Wilson, and Moss to let that one roll foul. Make sure Stewart doesn't reach on a blooper. Again, we noted it a little bit earlier, but Gage Mollander cleared to play. Saw some action hitting kind of early in the week against Urbandale. Also started against Prairie. That one fouled off once again out of Stewart. So not sure if we'll see Minks or Gage in game number 2. And if your Coach Barta, and really, you know, I'm sure Coach Campbell will have a say on this, well, the hitting coach, it's kind of hard for them to pull Max Minks out of the lineup. He's batting .333, got himself his first home run in Urbandale, and has 10 hits on the year. So Minks, the freshman, has been making an impact both offensively and defensively. So even though it's great to have Mo back in action, the catchers Moss and Minks have been doing really good for Johnston, holding it down while he's been out. 3-2 pitch on his way to Stewart. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts from Caden Wilson. And we got 2 down here in the 4th.
After the strikeout here, we will see number 23, the third baseman, Emerson Alberhassel.
So 5 of the last 6 batters that Wilson has faced have all been retired via strikeouts. The only guy that didn't strike out was Severson, who flew out to Tyne Whedon right. Alberhassel pokes that one on the ground to Lundholm at short, and he is out. A 6-3. It is 1-2-3 once again from Caden Wilson. 1-0. Still your score here in Johnston. This is Dragon Baseball on the Johnston Activities Live Stream Network, powered by Charter Bank. Welcome back, everybody, to Dragon Baseballs. We're about to start the bottom of the 4th inning. Got a quick update from one of our managers in the dugout, Ellie Hesselman, who runs the book for the Dragons, said that Joey Oakey at 53 pitches. And the reason we bring that up is we did see some action in the bullpen out of Centennial.
Here for the Johnston Dragons is the first baseman, number 26.
It was Carter Smalley
Hesselman,
who was getting a little warm in the bullpen. He's only thrown 2 innings on the year, so we'll keep an eye on that. Again, just a 1-0 score here in Johnston. An RBI single with 2 outs in the 3rd inning out of Carter Bryan gave the Dragons a lead, and now they'll look to add on it here in the 4th with Sam Hesselman. Hesselman flew out to center field in his first appearance back in inning number 2. Hess batting .310 on the year on his way to DMAC. He's got 31 hits on 100 plate appearances. 0-2 pitch on his way to Hess. Will bounce off the glove of Severson for ball number 1. Another high pitch out of Oakey for ball number 2. Evens the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes for Hesselman. 2-2 pitch on its way to Hess. Swung on and fouled off. Again, we talked about Hess's batting average at .310, but reaches on base at .457. Guy that has been hit a lot. He is 4th in Class 4A in hit by pitches. He's been hit 16 times. So he's got plenty of bruises around his body, but he's okay with it because the OBP number is pretty high for the senior Hesselman. Found himself down 0-2. Now your count full at 3-2. Hesselman will look to get on base to lead it off here in the 4th. He'll put that one on the ground, and it will get past Alberhassel. Bounces off of his glove and past the shortstop, Brule. So a lead-off single for Sam Hesselman.
Hesselman with the single brings up number 18, the third baseman, sophomore, Will Nuss.
That will bring up Will Nuss now with nobody down and Hesselman at first base. Nuss got himself a single back in the 2nd inning. Dragons have 3 hits off of Oakey to this point. Looking at how teams have fared against Oakey on the year, he has allowed just 10 hits. And now 13 on the year, 3 of them tonight here in Johnston. I can guarantee you they had at least 1 in the first game. I'll try to maybe pull up the stats real quick on that previous game to see how the Dragon offense fared against Oakey. Now back-to-back 0-2 counts to start things off here in the 4th inning. Hess battled his way back up to a full count and then got a single. Oakey is checking on Hess a couple times. He did that a lot with Lundholm. And now doing the same with Hesselman, and kind of makes sense as Hess has gotten 17 stolen bases on the year. And that one will be roped down the third base line out of Will Nuss. Hess on his way over to third. O'Brien will wave him home. Hess on his way, looking to go from first to home. He slides in. It is an RBI double from Will Nuss. So now a 2-0 lead for the Dragons.
Brings up number 25, the left
And now
fielder,
nobody down. Sam Kemmer up to the plate with Will Nuss standing on second base. Oakey started off the counts beautifully against Hesselman and Nuss. Got both guys down 0-2, but both guys, Hesselman and Nuss, got base hits. And now it's a 2-0 lead in favor of the Dragons. Again, a huge matchup and a huge doubleheader here in Johnston. Top-ranked Ankeny Centennial, third-ranked Johnston Dragons. As we kind of talked about this earlier, if Johnston could come away with a doubleheader sweep, obviously plenty of baseball to play here tonight in hopes of getting that, but Johnston will be in control. They will have their own destiny in their hands to clinch yet another CIML title. Doesn't look like anybody's throwing in the Centennial bullpen, but again, we'll keep you updated. 1-1 pitch to Kemmer. In for a strike, so now a 1-2 count. Kemmer flew out to left fielder Sean Stewart back in the second inning. One-two pitch on its way to Sam. High for ball number 2. Again, we said that Okie entered this fourth inning with 53 pitches. And certainly Johnston bringing that number up. They also brought that score up, 2-0, now in favor of third-ranked Johnston. That one goes off the glove of Severson and outside, so now full count. Hess started off with an 0-2 count. Nuss started off with an 0-2 count. Kemmer had a 1-2 count. Can the sophomore Sam Kemmer reach base here? Pitch on its way from Okie. And high for ball number 4. So Sam Kemmer reaches base.
Kemmer draws a walk.
And now 2 on, nobody down for Pierce
hitter,
Anderson.
Number 12, Pierce Anderson.
Coach Barta having a quick meeting with our home plate umpire. We'll have a pinch runner.
Number 9, Mango Hennis.
It will be Mango Hennis. And also Centennial will have a quick mound visit, as Okie has found himself into some trouble here in the fourth. Johnston, nice job out of their hitters, kind of dating back. You know, Sam Hesselman had an 0-2 count, got back to a full count, and eventually got himself a single. It was a tough ball for Alberhaski at third. It just bounced off his glove, and Hess reached on a single. Then Nuss got himself down 0-2, and he stroked one right down the third base line, went all the way down, not completely down to the fence, but pretty far, as it eventually scored Hesselman as he went from first to home. And then Sam Kemmer, you saw down 1-2 in the count, battled his way back and drew a walk. So now 2 on for the Dragons, nobody down, and will bring up designated hitter Pierce Anderson. Pierce grounded out to Alberhaski over at third base back in inning number 2. First pitch to Pierce in for a strike. Again, Pierce batting .247. He has 18 hits, 11 RBIs. Oh, 1 pitch to Pierce. That will be very close, but 1-1 your count. Is that one called ball? That one once again just a little bit outside. So now 2-1 your count. Okie gets strike number 2 there, makes it 2-2 your count. Again, Pierce the 8 spot for Johnston. Cale Moss, your 9 hitter, waits on deck. Swing and a miss out of Pierce Anderson, so he will be retired for out number 1. Okie gets strikeout number 4 on the day. Struck out Lundholm in the first, Tyne and Keiko in the third, and now Pierce here in the fourth.
Cale Moss.
That'll bring up catcher Cale Moss. Moss grounded out to Brule at short on his first appearance to lead off the third inning. So now 1 down, 2 on in the bottom of the fourth. Moss looked to lay down a bunt, misses it, and will get charged with a strike. So Dragons obviously a great opportunity to get even more damage here. Oki checked on Nuss at second, but nobody even in the vicinity of Nuss. It made its way into Brule's glove, but was not in a spot to tag out Nuss. And Oki has certainly kept a very close eye on the base runners throughout today's game. Sent plenty over Lundholm's way when he was on base in the third. Sent plenty over to Tynes' way when he reached in the first. Eventually picked him off. And now a great bunt out of Kale Moss, but it will just roll foul. Nearly laid perfectly by Moss. So Moss will have to come back up to the plate. 0-2 now the count. Maybe we can get a little bit of deja vu here in the fourth with Kale Moss. We've seen two Dragons reach on base after being down the count 0-2, and hopefully Moss can do the same. Moss with an on-base percentage of .351. .02 pitch on its way to Moss, and close, but it will be ball number 1. Nice hold out of Moss there. And swing and a miss by Moss for out number 2. So Oki has gotten his last 2 batters out, both striking out. So now 2 down here for the Dragons. 2 on for the leadoff man, Blake Lundholm. Lundholm today 0 for 1. Struck out in the first and was hit in the third, and eventually came around and scored off of an RBI single from Carter Bryan. That was the first run of the day. We saw the second here in the fourth via the RBI double from Will Nuss that scored Sam Hesselman. And Severson and Oki will have a quick chat. Looking at Blake on the year, batting .372, has 29 hits, 26 of them singles. Kind of fun little note about Blake, he has 3 extra base hits. No doubles, 3 triples, no home runs. So not a lot of times you see a guy that his only extra base hits are triples, as he's got 3 of them. It's kind of fun watching him at Urbandale. He had one that probably most guys would stay for a double, and looks like he wanted to keep it triples only in the extra base hit categories. He made it close at third, but eventually slid in for the triple, as he's tied for first in CIML in triples with 3. Last pitch called for a strike, makes it 2-1. And now 2-2 your count.
Go, Blake.
Again, Nuss at second, Mango at first. Pinch running for Kemmer. 2 down, 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed by Lundholm. So Oki doesn't let the damage get too high, as only suffers 1 run, but 2-0 now your score.
Another.
This is Dragon Baseball on the Johnston Activities live stream network, powered by Charter Bank. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sonic postgame show here on the Johnston Activities live stream network, powered by Charter Bank. I'm joined with head coach Michael Barta, and obviously big bounce back for you guys. Got to talk to Steffes a little bit about last night. So I know probably not the game you want to talk about a whole lot. I want to get to tonight as well. But what was the big key to kind of, Steffes talked a lot about kind of making sure to just get past it. You guys have so many games left. Kind of talk about your team's ability to bounce back here tonight.
Well, so last night, I give a lot of credit to PV. We saw 2 pitchers that I think are probably top 5 in the state. I really believe that. Like, if anybody wants to say I don't think that's accurate, no, they're 2 of the top 5 in the state. What I was bummed about last night was there's this – everybody talks about throwing velo, hitting velo, your ability to make contact, to throw it well across the diamond, to run. There's this missing trait of, like, sometimes we call it being a dog, but, like, being a competitor. Like, you will not get beat here. You get to 2 strikes and you are going to compete compete and you have that like look and that fierceness and people can feel it. I didn't feel that last night in our at-bats.
Yeah.
And I felt it a little bit tonight. That's our piece. We've got to find some deep competitors. And I'm going to be looking for that over the next couple of weeks as we try to figure this thing out. Yeah, good bounce-back game tonight. Win 7-0. There are a smaller class. They're a very good team in a smaller class, ranked 2. But, when you come to Johnston and we have X number more boys in a class, we should win tonight,
Yeah, and obviously I know one of the big things last night, so pretty good defensive performance. Obviously, pitching from you guys last night and just all-around defense. Obviously, the big struggle, kind of the offense with only 4 hits and 19 strikeouts. Tonight, by my count, I only had 6 strikeouts tonight with 7 hits. And what are kind of the big things for you to see kind of like the offensive improvement? And I know probably a narrative that as someone who has been in this program, I've heard so many times that Johnston's going to lose X number of guys. They're not going to be the same. But one thing that I know is there's always so many juniors or just underclassmen that don't get a lot of playing time that then do step up. So what did you see in the offense improvement from last night to tonight?
Well, first of all, I want to say, yeah, defense and pitching has been great the last 2 nights. I mean, Carter Willems and Pierce Anderson as our starters.
10-9
yes.
for strikeouts, yeah.
Yeah, and both of them didn't give up a run.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy about that, and I want to shout out to those guys. But I think, sometimes we look at seniors and you're like, oh, they've been around for 4 years. But a lot of them, some of them did get to play last year.
Yeah.
We do have some young guys that got to play a lot last year that are you're starting to see their ABs come together a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, there's probably an adjustment period for those juniors that are now seniors to see this quality of pitching and to really get after it. We're going to see who are competitors in that group and who are leaders and who really want to help us win. And that's going to get figured out over the next two weeks. And they're coming together. Better offensive night. Like you said, we cut K's down a little bit. I just want to see more barrels. Early in counts, you get the fastball. We need to barrel that.
Yeah.
And like if you're sitting spin, well then, and you get spin, we need to barrel that. And so, we need to improve. I mean, there's no doubt. I've sat up here before. We've performed well in the first week, and I said, okay, yeah, got to keep getting better. There's no doubt that this year we have to improve. Like, we are not where we need to be.
Yeah.
And with the league that we play in, we've got to get it together.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, just looking at the upcoming schedule for the upcoming week, wrapping up with Indianola and then Ames, just what do you guys need to do to kind of get a couple more wins on your belt before heading into week number 2?
Well, Indianola's another top 10 team in 4A, so we're going to have our work cut out for us. You need to get out here Thursday. Come out. I know a lot of you watching the live stream. Come out and help us.
100%.
We need that. We need the crowd behind us on Thursday. And then Friday, Ames has a couple really good players, a couple pieces back that I know they have a kid committed to Iowa. That'll be tough games on the road. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to end this week well and get a couple more wins. We'll see how it goes. We have a big practice tomorrow. That's kind of what I'm focused on right now.
For sure. So. And then just the last thing I had for you, as we're kind of early on in the season and we already kind of talked about some of the pieces that may be missing, it could be offensive or defensive. What are some guys that you would say for fans to kind of look out for on the year, whether that's seniors or some underclassmen, just some guys you're kind of looking to see step up into some big-time roles?
Yeah, I mean, I think where I want to see what happens is our bullpen.
Sure.
We have a couple returning starting pitchers that I like that are going to keep us in games. And really turning it over to the bullpen. So you got Sam Kemmer, Nuss, Hesselman, Timmerman, and the list goes on. You saw Minks tonight, Holm the other night, McConnell. There's a lot of kids that haven't thrown a lot of innings in the varsity realm, and they're going to get thrown in the fire in the 5th, the 6th, the 7th inning. A big innings that could sway either way, give us a win, give us a loss, and those guys are going to step up. So if you're fans, it's our bullpen. When those kids come out, cheer them on. They need our support, and we need them to close down the games for us.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you stopping by. And
I got to say hi to my mom.
Yeah.
And got to say hi to my dad, who's just out of the hospital. He's been in the hospital for a couple days. Dad, I love you. Been thinking about you down here, and hope you're doing well. And then obviously shout out to my sister and her family. And then Jake, I'm thinking about your dad. But then my wife. Stacy, I was looking for you down the sideline tonight. I miss you. Luke and Greta, if you're watching at home, I love you. And just got to say hi to everybody because I don't get to see them very often during baseball season. So. But, Evan, good to see you.
Oh, 100%.
Good to see you back around here. This guy was my manager for 4 years, and he was one of the best. And so we miss him, and it's good to see you doing the broadcast work. You do a great job with it.
I didn't know what to do with all the free time not having baseball. I just can't escape it, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm good to be back doing something else. So we'll have plenty of other interviews with you throughout the course of the season. best of luck. Super excited to see you guys throughout the course of the year.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
for
appreciate
sure.
it.
Have a good
All
one,
right.
man.
Yes.
Once again, our thanks to Johnston's head coach, Mr. Michael Barta, for stopping up with us here at the press box tonight to discuss tonight's 7-0 victory over Mid-Prairie. Johnston picking up their first win of the season. Welcome on in, everyone, to the Sonic postgame show. As promised, we do have a couple of guests up here with me. To my left is Tyne Whedon, and to my right is Blake Lundholm. First off, congrats, you guys, on getting to the sub-state final.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what I wanted to really bring you guys up here for was kind of 2-3 weeks ago, there was a big shift in terms of, Blake, you got moved up to the leadoff spot, and, Tyne, you've been kind of hovering either leadoff or in that 2 spot for most of the year, but kind of us from up here watching, it has been an insane 1-2 punch out of you two. I mean, the amount of times that you've hit a home run, I feel like it's always a 2-run shot, and it's with Blake on base. So I'll kind of let both you guys handle it. But what have you guys seen from your perspective that has made this 1-2 punch been really deadly for you guys as a team?
I can start. I think when you talk about the home runs, I think when this guy gets on base to my right, I think my average probably just shoots through the roof. I think maybe I'm just more comfortable with him on first base or second base or whatever. He does his job, gets on, and then I find a way to drive us in. And if I don't do my job, we got 6-7 more guys right behind me to do it. So that's just kind of my opinion on it. So
like for example, like the last inning there, like. So bottom of the 6th, we go down. I'm walking back into the dugout, and I'm like, I told Time, like, all right, I'm gonna bunt, and then I'm gonna steal first, second pitch, whatever, and then you're gonna hit me in. And unfortunately, I didn't. He hit the ball to center. I didn't get in. I maybe should have had a better read on that, but like, I mean, that's just like the type of baseball like I want to play. Like I like when I'm on, and then he's up to bat right after. So it's always good to score some runs.
And from your perspective, obviously, what kind of, when we had Bart up here, when we kind of asked him about what was, the main reason for the switch to bring you up from 9-1, it was just kind of, he joked about it. He's like, man, how do I have a guy that's, has an OBP of over 500 and a batting average over 400? He's like, I can't have him in the 9 spot, so I got to move him up. So from your perspective, what have you done to kind of make that really big leap and, be the leadoff guy?
I think it's just like preparation, like in practice. Like I know, like no matter what like spot you are, if you're hitting 1, 3, 9, whatever, like you got to go into practice every day with like the same mentality. And I feel like the jump from 9-1 is just like it's just being prepared and just always trying to get on base for my teammates, like Tyne, and to hit me in and stuff. So it's just you got to take one day at a time, one pitch at a time, and I'm almost like I'm treating the leadoff as like I'm the 9-hole, just like you just go up there and have the same mentality and get in.
Yeah, for sure. And then for you, Tyne, obviously I think kind of over the last couple weeks, we've really seen the power that we know you have kind of really unlocked. You got your first bomb at Centennial on June 5th, and you kind of went on that spurt starting with Ankeny over the last couple weeks where you've really got that number up. But, I mean, obviously the home runs are awesome, but, you do lead the team in hits. For you, what have you done to kind of be that guy for the Dragons, whether that's power hitter, just one of the big guys in terms of getting hits? From your perspective, what have you done this year to be in that spot?
Yeah, I think like Lundy said, it always starts in practice. So you go out, every detail matters in your swing or whatever you're doing, in the cages and so one thing that I really try to do is small ball. It's these tiny balls that we see for hand-eye coordination. It's something I try and get on every day. And then on pitching machines, scoot forward, scoot back, just changing up speeds and everything so I can see different speeds and all that. But overall, I think it's a mentality thing.
For sure.
2-0, high school baseball, you're probably going to get a fastball, so get ready to dominate that pitch.
For sure. And then I got a couple questions for you guys. The first one I want to do, and if you both want to jump in or either or, kind of, at that first week it was a 3-2 record, which for many teams isn't, necessarily bad, but for Johnston's standard it was certainly, disappointing in week number 1. But after starting 3-2, you guys finished 31-8. You tie with Centennial for the CIML at 19-5, just fall a little bit short as they had the season series over you guys. But kind of one word that we've talked about up here in the press box has been growth. From the beginning of the year, there was a lot of guys that we know had talent, just maybe not a ton of playing experience. And so from your guys' perspective, what did you guys need to do to grow as a team to go from maybe a struggling week 1 to a spot where you're now ranked 3rd and you're going to be playing in a sub-state final and a chance to go to state once again?
You want? Okay, I can take this one. I think, like you said, it's growth. I think we're still trying to find each other. A lot of guys that left, a lot of seniors that left last year, and we're still finding guys that needed to find their roles still. I think, you know, we're just trying to come together, come a big group, you know, maybe just getting comfortable with each other as people, not just as a baseball player. So maybe going out to eat, maybe going to Culver's or whatever, just hang out with each other and stuff like that. So maybe just finding each other as people instead of just baseball players.
Yeah, and speaking on that, like, it's like togetherness. Like I feel like in our practices, like, we're building like a lot of really good chemistry. Like, even though like our starters are out there doing whatever, all defensive stuff, but like the guys behind us, like, those are the guys that are pushing us, and like that's what makes us better as a team. So like little stuff like that is just what like makes a team really good. It's just like having guys behind your back or like bench guys that are always into it. Like it just helps your confidence and like going into every game, every pitch, whatever. It's a lot of fun. Get you a lot of wins.
Yeah, definitely. So the last thing I have for you guys, obviously now advance to the sub-state final, get the bye in round number 2. You'll await either Sioux City North, Sioux City East, Valley, or Council Bluffs, Lincoln. I believe both those games got postponed, so they you guys almost get another advantage in a sense where their pitchers maybe they don't necessarily get the opportunity to certain teams to save their one to bring into you guys for the sub-state final. But from your guys' perspective, obviously I think the one thing is like, as like, you know, a fan or just someone in Johnston, it's almost like an expectation. You're like, oh yeah, they're going to make the state tournament. But I don't think people necessarily realize how hard it is to get there, and all it takes is one bad night and your season can be over. And so for you guys, no matter who you play, what do you guys need to do to make sure you guys can come out with a victory and punch another ticket to state?
I think it's another thing of just going back to the beginning of the year. You know, our first goal is always our goal. Number one goal, we don't even talk about it, is to win a state title. So like you said, it's an expectation here. And I think to get to advance, and you eat well, sleep well, nutrition's a big part. Just keep being good people, good character, be a good person, good things will happen.
Yeah.
I think it's just like you got to win the day. Like, no matter what you're doing, like, even when we're practicing or, like, say you're out with friends or whatever, you just, like, I think it's just really important to win the day, because at the end of the day, like, if you have a really good practice, like, you want to focus on that one practice. It's like, keep focused on that practice, and it's just going to lead to better success. So you just got to do one thing at a time.
For sure. Well, anything you guys want to say to the camera before we go ahead and let you guys loose?
I'd say pop out on Wednesday, 7 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Be there. It'll be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Fun night.
So.
For sure. Well, best of luck on Wednesday. We'll be here. Can't wait to watch you guys, and appreciate you stopping up.
Awesome.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Evan.
Yep. Once again, big thanks to both Tyne Whedon and Blake Lundholm for stopping up here with us in the post-game show. Good evening and welcome, baseball fans from Johnston, Central Iowa, and around the world to the Johnston Activities live stream network powered by Charter Bank on Team1Sports.com and the Johnston Booster Club pregame show for another exciting season of Johnston baseball. My name is Evan Wessling, and tonight I'll be bringing you all of the play-by-play action for the contest here this evening. Along with myself, I am joined by my guy to the left, Mr. Josh Willis, along with our producer extraordinaire, Mr. Randy Sparks, and our camera crew of current and former Johnston students led by former Dragon and ace button pusher Sam Lorenz. We are coming to you live from the beautiful Johnston Baseball / Softball Complex here at JMS in Johnston. We have 4 cameras and 3 microphones to bring you the CIML Clash and Sub-State 3 Final between the host and defending state champions, the number 3 Johnston Dragons, and the Valley Tigers of West Des Moines. We'd like to welcome in all of the Tiger and Dragon fans who are unable to be with us here in Johnston this evening. Please be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's broadcast on your phone, tablet, computer, or screencasted TV. Johnston's path to the sub-state final has been short and easy as the Dragons took down Council Bluffs Jefferson in the first round 10-0 and then received a bye to get to today's contest. As for the Tigers, their path has taken a few more games as the 4 seed in Sub-State 3 opened up postseason play in Sioux City, and they posted a dominant victory over Sioux City East, winning 11-0 over the Black Raiders. In round number 2, they faced the 5 seed Council Bluffs Lincoln, who got the upset over the 2 seed Sioux City North, and Valley went on to win that one 3-2 off of a walk-off HBP. These two squads have faced off 3 times already this season, with the Dragons claiming a victory in all 3 games. The first contest was a 14-7 victory, the second was a 10-0 victory, and the third one was 9-5, all in favor of Johnston. But as we know, all it takes is one and you're done. So without question, this contest has the biggest stakes of them all as the playoff spot in the state tournament is on the line. Before we head to a break, I want to give a big thank you to our title sponsor, Charter Bank. Charter Bank offers a full line of bank products to fit your needs, including home, consumer, business, and ag loans, including checking and saving accounts and CDs. Charter Bank is a 100% locally owned and managed staffed bank delivering prompt local decision-making, and they're committed to helping our communities thrive. Please make sure to chart your success with Charter Bank. We're just getting started here on our Johnston Booster Club pregame show. When we come back, we'll have a quick chat with Johnston assistant coach Noah Jansen to preview tonight's sub-state final versus Valley. This is Dragon Baseball on the Johnston Activities Live Stream Network, powered by Charter Bank. Welcome back to the Johnston Booster Club pregame show on the Johnston Activities Live Stream Network, powered by Charter Bank. For today's matchup between the Dragons and the Tigers, and we are now here with Johnston assistant coach Noah Jansen to discuss today's sub-state final versus Valley. So first off, Noah, how you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm ready to go. The boys are ready to go. As Josh said earlier in the year, I don't think I've slept in a while, but we got everything nailed down. There's only one thing left to do, and it's to go play baseball. So.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think the big thing around here, and we've talked about this with players and coaches plenty of times, but it's kind of an expectation here in Johnston to make the state tournament. But at the same time, all it takes is one and you're done. So talk about why is this such a big deal for Johnston to continue their success and hopefully make it 8 in a row here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, we've been really lucky to make it to 7 in a row, but that's not something normally that happens. You have to put in a lot of time. You have to focus on every single game. Whether it was the TJ game, whether it's this game, you have to be ready to go and you have to play with the same intent. And you just got to be ready to bring it. I mean, tonight, you look at their record, the record's not great, but this is probably a top 10 team.
Yeah.
They were preseason top 10. They got a lot of really good players, and they're going to be ready to go just like we are. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll quickly flip to the keys to the game here. Just one moment as we pull those up here if you want to go ahead and list those off.
Yep, so limit their top 2 hitters. We did quite a bit of scouting on these guys. I mean, I don't think it's any secret that we do a lot of scouting when it comes to other teams. But so Plummer and then Nuno. Those are 2 guys that have killed us in the past. We got to be able to limit them and not let them on for free. If they get a couple hits here and there, you tip your cap and you say these are really good baseball players, and we expect them to get on a couple times tonight. But if we're able to limit them, then I think we got a really good shot. Number 2 is get 5 extra base hits. Our offense is going to have to put up some runs tonight. Even though we have Wolms on the mound, we think Valley's going to score some runs. So we have to keep some pressure on Valley's defense and score a lot of runs, and with that comes extra base hits, and you can cut. The big thing with postseason baseball is changing momentum. So if you're able to get an extra base hit or 2 and score a couple runs, you're going to get your crowd on the side. And obviously it looks like as of right now there's going to be a massive crowd here, so that's going to be huge. And key number 3, win the walk and hit by pitch battle. So you look at both starting pitchers, Carter Wollums. If you're watching this game and you're from Johnston, you know how great Carter Wollums is at limiting that. So we got to be able to continue that trend of not allowing free runners by walk or hit by pitch. If they're, like I said earlier, if they're going to beat us with a hit, they're going to beat us with a hit. But on the other side, Jeff Rose. You look at his numbers, and he may have a couple extra walks and hit by pitches, but those were all really early in the season. He's really nailed that down. I mean, we hit him well at the beginning of the year when we played him, but he's going to be ready to go just as much as anybody else is.
Yeah, for sure. And last thing I got for you before we can go ahead and let you loose, what do you guys tell your guys in this moment? I mean, obviously something that I get that Johnston's been here, but sure still some nerves, and definitely with you guys being the favorite, a team that's maybe, like you said, doesn't have the best record, but certainly a really good squad. What do you guys need to do to make sure you come away with a win here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we just sat down with the guys last night and we said playing in the state tournament, some of the best memories you'll ever have, whether you get to win it, whether you're out in the first round. Getting to go to Iowa City, Iowa City, and play in the state tournament, you get to be one of 8 remaining teams. It's not something that every high school kid gets to experience. So we really want that for these guys because of the growth we've seen from them this summer. So I mean, we just told them we're more prepared. We're ready to go, and I mean, it's just you got to come out and you can't beat yourself. I mean, so that's just what it comes down to. We're really excited. Valley's a great team, and I could see this being a very close game. I wouldn't take too much away from the 2 results at the beginning of the year. I think it's going to be probably a type game that we saw at Valley.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, appreciate you stopping by, and best of luck tonight.
Of course. As the last game, I want to thank you guys for all you do. Evan, you do a great job, thanks, Josh.
Yeah. Hey, it was you were here.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks again to assistant coach Noah Jansen for stopping by and talking with us. We're going to take a short break here on the Johnston Booster Club pregame show. This is Dragon Baseball on the Johnston Activities Live Stream Network, powered by Charter Bank. Welcome back, everybody, to the Johnston Booster Club pregame show on the Johnston Activities live stream network powered by Charter Bank. For today's matchup between the Dragons and the Tigers, we're now going to dive into some numbers for both of these teams, in addition to looking at some of the other sub-state finals here in Class 4A. But before we go ahead and do so, I'm going to officially welcome in my guy to my left, Josh Willis. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you, sir?
Pretty good.
You all ready for your big game tonight?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm a little nervous. It's just a sub-state final, man.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah.
It just comes around every year. We're lucky to be in it every year.
That is very true.
Don't take that. Don't take it for granted. These games are always fun. They're always close.
Yes.
I don't care what the record on the screen says. This is going to be a close game.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you heard Noah say that. I mean, we discussed this early on in the pregame show, but Johnston, the first time these two teams faced was a doubleheader in late May. It was on May 22nd. Johnston won 14-7 in game number 1 and took a 10-0 victory in game number 2. That night was kind of highlighted by a big Will Nuss night.
Yes.
He goes 7 for 7 with a couple home runs, triple, a couple doubles, and a single, and 7 RBIs. So it was an awesome night out of Nuss. But we also saw a no-hitter out of Carter Woolham. So that was kind of really the stars were all on Johnston's side. But as you heard Noah also say, the third game was a lot closer and probably one that you could see more of tonight. It was a 9-5 victory out in West Des Moines over Valley for Johnston. But, I mean, nonetheless, these are two really good teams. And, I mean, for you, I know you have some numbers pulled up on that second game. Yeah, we'll throw up a couple graphics for you guys real quick to take a look at both these squads. It's just some more overall for both teams, just kind of a general how they've done on the year. You see the records, how the two teams have done over the last 10, the win streak, in the CIML, ranked wins, etc. So, again, you talk about a team that may be in Valley who doesn't have the best record, and that's kind of in a sense due to maybe losing games to those teams that are under 500, which you should have won. And they were just in the toughest conference in the state of Iowa in the CIML and just kind of were unable to get some there. But I mean, overall, like Noah said, this is still a really good team. And we'll also throw up real quick just some other couple numbers offensively and defensively. And so that's just a good look for you guys. I mean, I think in my eyes, Valley not a big power team in terms of offense, not a lot of extra base hits. But I mean, I think you heard Noah. It's going to take a great outing defensively out of Williams and just shutting down Ty Plummer and Eric Nuno, who we'll jump into later. But that's kind of what we got here tonight.
So Evan, I know you wanted to look at the rest of the bracket here from this number 3 sub-state.
Yep. And you guys can see it on screen. So as you guys know, Johnston took a 10-0 victory in their opening round. And you can also see the other opening round games. Council Bluffs Lincoln, who was the 5 seed, got the upset over Sioux City North. Probably, me and Josh said we could have seen anyone from 2, 3, or 4 to make it to this game to face Johnston. But I certainly thought Sioux City North would have been the one to get through that. But they fell in the opening round. And you saw Valley took it to Sioux City East, winning 11-0. And then out on Monday was the second round between the 4 and 5 seeds, Valley and Council Bluffs Lincoln, where Valley took a 3-2 win. And I think they won it off of a walk-off hit by pitch.
They did. It was exciting.
And so, nonetheless, it now sets up a 1-4, but it's really not a 1-4. It's a CIML clash between two really good teams. Welcome in, everyone, to our post-game show here on the Johnston Activities live stream network powered by Charter Bank. And we are joined by our first guest. Hopefully we can get a few more tonight, but the man of the night, Sam Kemmer. First off, how you feeling?
What? Who's he yelling at?
Yeah, okay, we're good. It was other Sam. So first, let's backtrack. Sam, how you feeling?
Great. A good team win. We just kept fighting through the adversity. First inning was rough. Gave up 3 runs, but we just came right back at them and threw a punch at them.
Yeah, for sure. So you, on the night, you go 3 for 4, a double, 2 singles, and 6 RBIs, driving half of them yourself. What did you do tonight? I mean, you talked to me a little bit earlier before you stepped on the air saying you were kind of frustrated the last couple games just popping up, but, man, you answered with your best game of the season, really at your career as a Dragon at the varsity level. What did you do tonight to get this kind of night?
I went out and hit with my dad the other day. He's probably the best hitting coach I got. He knows my swing very well, so shout out to him. And he helped me get back on the plane, hitting line drives and stuff, so that worked a lot tonight.
For sure. So you guys as an offense, and I'll turn over here quickly so Josh can chime in if he has one, but you guys as an offense, so it's a tough first inning for Willems, and certainly a guy that's been super dominant all year in Carter, right? Kind of a tough inning. What did you guys say or talk about as an offense going into that bottom of the first? Because you guys lit it up immediately and backed your guy up and picked him up, scoring 5 to give him the advantage and kind of settle down before we went back out there.
Yeah, our coaches prepared us really well pregame, getting us to know the pitcher. Obviously, we faced him before earlier in the season, so we knew what we were going to see, and that was about it. So we knew what we were doing.
For sure. You got anything?
Yeah.
So thank you once again for Sam Kemmer. No, you're good. I was just going to say thank you for stepping up here, man. Enjoy it. You bet. Thank you once again to Sam Kemmer for stepping up here with us. We will take or you want numbers quick?
Let's do some numbers quick, and then we'll see if we can get. I don't know if you want another guy. If you're going to try to get.
I'll trot down and see what I can finagle.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And you kind of talk. Josh kind of set me up with talking about Barta talking about how you're one of the best guys in terms of paying attention to detail. When it was a rough week 1 for you guys going 3-2, which for many teams probably isn't that rough, but for Johnston standards, kind of tough. In our eyes, offensively, for sure, you and Pierce were kind of the guys that held it down while everyone else kind of got up to speed, as you guys kind of didn't have a ton of guys who had a lot of playing experience, but, a lot of guys with talent. So from your perspective, what did you do kind of as, a senior and a leader to kind of hold the fort down and allow eventually everyone to find themselves?
Well, I think, as you said, we didn't have a lot of experience. So I think just, breathing, making sure that you are comfortable out there. I think that was the first step, just making sure everybody knew what they were doing, everybody was comfortable, just getting that experience.
Yeah.
And then, in the cages, just working on everything. I think they've come a long way, so that's really it.
All right. Yeah. So the first thing I want to say, obviously, once again, congrats on making it 8 straight, and you step in. At the beginning of the year, we knew that there was going to be the really good 1-2 punch between you and Pierce, right?
Yep.
But kind of as the season went on, you found some guys that stepped up their roles. Caden Halsrud, Caden Wilson, Xander Polk, some guys at the bullpen like Rafe and Tim. What did you guys see, or you and the team see specifically from the pitching staff this year, as kind of from week 1 to now?
I think we saw a lot of growth between each pitcher. We struggled with walks and hit by pitches at the beginning of the year, but as we kept going, we kept getting better and better at it.
For sure. And so for you, I guess Josh talked about it a little bit, but not the first time you've been in a big game by any means. Obviously, started in the state tournament, opening around the quarterfinals versus Liberty. How does it feel for you that you kind of, you've gotten the nod a couple years in a row to be the guy right out of the gates?
I mean, it feels good, but there's always adrenaline there and nervousness.
Yeah,
every game.
For sure. So I'm sure you guys heard it a little bit, but obviously the big news was that Centennial went down and Prairie went down, which puts you guys into the one spot and hopefully the chance to put on those championship whites, which is always nice. But for you guys, what does it mean to get to not only have the chance to make another run, but just to get to the state tournament and hopefully go on another run?
Just going on another run is the funnest part.
Yes.
Being in the hotel room with the guys. Yep. And then hopefully we can win this thing for Barta.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
I just want to circle back to kind of what we talked about in week 1, which was growth. And, there was, it was a rough week, 3-2 in week 1, which rough for Johnston standards, and it's been a complete shift. Obviously now up to 33-8 on the year, so you see the difference there. But what have you guys done to get to this point? What was the growth?
I think the guys have been more detailed as the year went on, and we've always had a couple really detailed guys, but really a team is about an individual taking accountability for his job on the team. And so you got Willems was up here. We found something mechanically with him about 3-4 weeks ago that we wanted to adjust. So it's about him every day with maybe we have coaches there all the time.
Yeah.
But him every day taking ownership of what he needs to work on and really go get it. I feel like the guys have. Like even before the game in the cages, I felt like guys are asking great questions, like how can I get better and how can I take ownership of my growth instead of just showing up, taking a couple swings and going to play. And so I saw that switch, and hopefully we just keep growing. Like now we get another chance for another 3 or 4 practices. Like I'm pumped for that. Let's keep growing, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we'll see where we go.
All right. Well, once again, our thanks to Johnston head coach Michael Barta, along with your sophomore player of the game, Sam Kemmer, and seniors Sam Hesselman and Carter Willems for stopping by the press box to discuss tonight's 12-4 victory over Valley. Johnston, as we said, will be back in action next Tuesday in the opening round of the Class 4A state tournament out at Dwayne Banks Field in Iowa City. The proceeding has been a presentation of Johnston Dragons Baseball on the Johnston Activities Live Stream Network, powered by Charter Bank. On behalf of our producer extraordinaire, Mr. Randy Sparks, our high school video production crew led by ace button pusher Sam Lorenz, and the man in the booth next to me all season long, Mr. Josh Willis, thank you for watching our broadcast here on T1 Sports all season long. It truly has been an absolute pleasure. Be sure to travel out to Iowa City next week to cheer on the Dragons en route of back-to-back state titles. I am Evan Wessling, wishing you all a good night from Johnston.
Well, just like that, that is going to go ahead and wrap up my 2023 baseball broadcasting full summer reel. If you watched this entire video, or if you even just watched a little bit, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed some of my highlights, the pregame stuff, full innings, interviews or pregame or postgame. And if anyone learned anything, that's awesome too. Again, I'm still a young buck, still trying to make my way in this broadcasting world, and hopefully one day can become a professional sports broadcaster. But man, if I can also kind of help people along the way, I'd love to do that as well. But with that being said, you guys, that is everything. I cannot wait to go ahead and get back at the Johnston Baseball Complex next summer to be back in the booth and broadcast for them once again. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I had an absolute blast this summer, and I cannot wait to be back. Once again, my name is Evan Wessling, signing out.